Hey there, I was just telling Mark about this lovely cup of coffee I'm having this Friday morning. You know those moments when everything just feels right.
Ha! That's because it's my special Blue Mountain blend. I brought it just for today's show.
And speaking of Blue Mountain, welcome to Blue Mountain Morning, everyone. I'm Alex, here with my friend Mark, and we're here to help you find those moments of clarity in today's news.
Exactly. Sometimes the world can feel pretty overwhelming first thing in the morning, but that's why we're here, to help sort through it all together, just like we're sharing this coffee.
And trust me, we've got some interesting stories to share with you today, but we'll take it nice and easy, just like we always do.
All right, let's dive into today's headlines. The big story this morning is that Kash Patel, Trump's pick for FBI director, has been gaining some serious support in the Senate.
Yeah, and this is pretty significant, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about someone who'd be leading one of our most important law enforcement agencies.
Exactly. What's particularly interesting is that this comes as current FBI Director Christopher Wray is preparing to step down, as we have discussed yesterday. The timing here really shows how Trump's preparing for his return to office.
Meanwhile, out in California, there's actually some good news coming from Malibu.
Oh yeah, the wildfire situation's finally improving. More than 3,700 residents have been able to return to their homes thanks to calmer winds helping firefighters get the upper hand on the blaze.
That's such a relief. It's been pretty intense out there for those communities.
And speaking of intense situations, there's been another development in the ongoing 2020 election investigations. 6 more Republicans in Nevada have been charged in connection with that fake elector scheme.
That's wild. Could you break down what exactly that means for our listeners?
Sure thing. Basically, these individuals are accused of falsely claiming to be presidential electors after the 2020 election, which is pretty serious business. It's part of a broader investigation that's been happening across several states.
And this is all happening while the current administration is still in office, but is aware of its expiration date.
Right. And that's what makes these stories so relevant right now. We're seeing the aftermath of the last election still playing out while the countries had just received the results of an historic vote. Yeah.
Mark, I've been thinking about this whole strategy we're seeing with Trump's preparations for his second term. It's really different from what we saw in 2016.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what we're seeing now is basically a complete overhaul of how he's approaching his administration picks. He's specifically looking for people who are deeply aligned with his vision.
Like with Kash Patel and what was that announcement recently? Caroline Levitt as press secretary?
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Levitt would actually be the youngest press secretary in history. But what's really fascinating here is the pattern we're seeing. Trump's being pretty upfront about wanting to avoid the conflicts he had with his first-term cabinet.
I noticed that too. It's almost like he's building a team that's more unified in their approach.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting for American governance. Traditionally, cabinet members have often acted as kind of independent voices, sometimes even pushing back against presidential decisions.
Right, like those famous stories about his first term where cabinet members would sometimes publicly disagree with him.
Those exact situations are what he's trying to prevent this time around. He's essentially creating what some are calling a team of loyalists, people who fundamentally agree with his vision for reshaping the executive branch.
And what could that mean for those traditional checks and balances within the administration?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. You're looking at potentially less internal debate, more streamlined decision-making, but also possibly fewer dissenting voices in those crucial moments when different perspectives might be really valuable.
So I came across this really amazing story today about a place in Silver Spring, Maryland that honestly gives me so much hope about community and connection in America.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The highway to heaven, right?
That's it. It's this incredible stretch of New Hampshire Avenue where you've got dozens of different religious communities all existing side by side?
It's actually pretty remarkable. You've got Buddhist temples right next to synagogues, mosques sharing parking lots with churches. It's probably the most religiously diverse county in the entire United States.
What really struck me was how natural it all seems. Like, these aren't just buildings existing near each other. These communities actually interact and support each other.
Yeah, and you know what's really beautiful about it? During major holidays or celebrations, you'll often see members of different faiths helping each other out. Like during Ramadan, some of the Christian churches offer their parking lots to the mosque for evening prayers.
That's exactly the kind of thing we need more of, isn't it? Real community support, not just tolerance, but actual cooperation.
And here's what I find really powerful. This didn't happen through some big government program or initiative. It just evolved naturally as different communities settled in the area and found ways to be good neighbors to each other.
It's like a microcosm of what America can be at its best, don't you think? All these different traditions and beliefs coming together, making space for each other.
Absolutely. And you know what? In times when we hear so much about division and conflict, places like the Highway to Heaven remind us that there's another way, that we can actually create something pretty special when we choose to see our differences as something that enriches all of us. You know, Alex, I've been watching the leaves change outside my window these past few weeks, and it got me thinking about how nature handles transitions so gracefully.
There's something really peaceful about that, isn't there? The way trees just let go.
Exactly. They don't fight it, they don't try to hold on to summer. They just sort of flow with the change. And I was thinking about how we could probably learn something from that.
Like how sometimes we need to just embrace the seasons of our lives.
Yeah, and you know what's really beautiful? Even as everything's changing, those trees stay so deeply rooted. Their branches might be swaying in the wind, but their foundation, that doesn't budge.
I love that image. It's like we can be flexible with life's changes while staying true to who we are.
And just like how every tree in a forest experiences the same season differently, some changing color earlier, others holding on a bit longer, we all move through changes in our own time.
That's really grounding, Mark. Like a gentle reminder that change doesn't have to be scary. It can actually be beautiful.
Exactly. Sometimes all we need to do is pause, take a deep breath, and trust that, like those trees, we've got what it takes to weather any season.
You know, as we wrap up today's Blue Mountain morning, I can't help but feel centered, grounded.
Yeah, from the shifting political landscape to those incredible stories of community in Silver Spring, it's been quite a journey this morning.
And speaking of journeys, and we hope this little morning chat has helped you find your footing for the day ahead.
Absolutely. And hey, we'll be right back here tomorrow morning with more stories, more insights, and maybe, just maybe, another nature metaphor or two.
Can't help yourself with those, can you?
What can I say? Nature's the best teacher.
Thanks for starting your day with us, everyone. Remember, you've got this.
Until tomorrow morning, stay curious and stay grounded. This has been Blue Mountain Morning.